Pricing for product photography. I just want to pull my hair out sometimes because this topic is such a huge topic, and I know for myself and for so many of you, pricing it's a damn struggle. And even after 3.5 years in the industry, I still struggle on pricing, but I have gotten a lot better at pricing what I think I am worth and what my work is worth. So in this video, I want to go through 6 general guidelines that you can consider when it comes to pricing up your own work. Now, if you want to dive deeper into pricing for product photography and you want more guidance on this topic, I do have quite a few tutorials inside my course, Become a Brand Photographer, as well as a pricing calculator for you. There's also a really important exercise that I get my students to do that will actually help them create a profitable business in the long run. So if you want to check that out and you want more guidance on it, I'll leave the link in the description box below to the course. And don't forget, you can also use the code YouTube for 10% off at checkout. So number 1 is your experience in the industry. So if you're just starting out, obviously, you can't charge the same amount as someone who has been in the industry for 5 or 10 years because your skill level is completely different. With experience comes more attention to detail, more creativity, more technical skills, and just an overall better ability to create a higher quality image. And as time moves on, you will actually find that you take longer to do projects. So your pre-production might be longer, you might actually sketch out your images, your post-production might be longer in terms of your retouching skills in Photoshop have excelled. So these are all things that you have to consider into your pricing as time goes on. For example, compared to when I started my business to now, 3.5 years down the track, I probably take double the amount of time to complete a project because my pre-production workflow is a lot more detailed and precise, and I've learned a lot of new retouching techniques that take me longer to edit a photo. So just to edit one photo sometimes could take me 20 to 40 minutes depending on what I'm doing. Number 2 is your equipment. Now, obviously the more expensive your camera and your lens is, the higher quality image you'll get out of it and the sharper the image will be. So for example, we just purchased the Sony a7S III for video. And for those of you who don't know, my partner Alistair is a videographer. And just for the camera body alone, it's around $6,000 Australian. So as soon as we got that, we actually increased his rates because the content that our clients are now going to receive is a higher quality piece of content. Now, other types of equipment will be your lighting as well. And while I'm still a huge fan of natural light and the look it can give, there are certain things you just simply cannot achieve with natural light and you need studio lighting. So it depends, how many studio lights do you have? What's the cost of these lights? And other forms of equipment such as your backgrounds, your props, like your hard drives, your memory cards, anything that is going to help you create higher quality content, that needs to be factored into your prices. So if you buy new gear that's going to help you to create a higher quality image or a high quality video, then it's only natural that you should increase your price. And number 3 is your editing skills. Now, for me, half the work is actually done in post-production in Photoshop, where I'm really able to bring a photo to life and just add more elements and make it even more beautiful. And if you are a product photographer and you are not using Photoshop, please start learning that today. And when I started using Photoshop, this is actually another point in my career when the quality of my photos increased. And so as time went on and I've learned more retouching techniques, I have been able to increase my prices because it takes me probably double the amount of time to edit now than it used to when I first started. Number 4 is your business overheads and expenses. What is your cost of doing business? Do you have to hire out a studio space that you pay rent on? Do you pay public liability insurance? Do you pay for numerous subscriptions, accounting, software programs, anything that helps you to run your business more efficiently? So it's a really great idea to map out all of your expenses that you need to cover in order to actually live life. And so when it comes to them pricing your work for your business, what you're earning has to cover your expenses and then some. Now, as your business grows naturally, your expenses will grow along with it. Therefore, your prices should increase in order to cover those additional expenses that you take on. Now, I do have a video here you can check out on how we ensure we stay on track to hit a minimum of $10,000 per month in our business. And this is where this exercise comes in. Number 5 is your pricing structure. Now, there are a couple of different pricing structures that you could take on in your business, and I think this actually comes down to your personal preference. Number 1 is the per image pricing structure. So essentially you're assigning a fixed rate on a per image basis. For example, $50 per photo. Now, I used to price like this, and I did it for a very long time, mostly because it was easy for me and it was easy for my clients. But I eventually realized that I was losing out on quite a bit of money because I was spending so much more time on projects that I didn't account for in the quote. And so now I custom quote based on the individual project requirements, and this helps me ensure that I'm actually charging my worth. The second pricing structure is to charge per hour or per half day or full day rate. So this is calculating how much time you think it's going to take to complete the project. So essentially you're setting an hourly, a half day, and a full day rate that you would then charge your clients. So this is a pricing structure that Alistair and I use for our own quotes, and then we also consider the value of the piece of content to the brand as well. And this is where your commercial licensing comes into play, which is a whole other topic that I won't go into in this video. And the last one, number 6, is when you are booked out, this is a really big sign that you have to increase your prices. So if you are working like 7 days a week, you've got heaps of inquiries coming through and everyone is booking you, like there's little to no rejections, then your prices are most likely too low because everybody is taking them up. And what's going to happen is you're going to be burnt out, you're going to be working 7 days a week, and you won't be able to keep up with demand. Now, on this topic of increasing your prices, I know that this can be a really scary thing to do because you'll probably think, oh, my current clients won't be able to afford it. No one will be able to afford like this amount of money for this many photos. Like I just can't increase my prices. What if I lose all my business and I lose all my clients? I get it. I have been there so many times. And let me tell you, every single time I have increased my prices, surely enough, we are still booked out and there are still people willing to pay the higher price. And so that's actually another variable that comes into play for your pricing, is actually your own confidence and your mindset. If you are not confident in your pricing, most likely you're going to be lowballing yourself. You're going to be underselling yourself and not charging what your work is worth. And this still happens to me 3.5 years down the track. There have been some projects that I have really underquoted because I haven't been confident in my prices to be like, well, yeah, this is how long it's going to take me. This is the value of this content to your brand, and this is my price. It can really be a mindfuck sometimes. And this is why working on your money mindset is probably going to be one of the most important things that you do in your business to not only help you invest in your business, but also to help you be confident in your pricing. And it's something that I see in so many new photographers as well, where they have amazing work, they produce amazing work, yet they're still putting themselves out there to work for free. They're still undercutting themselves when it comes to their pricing, like a lot, where they could actually be earning quite good money to be able to sustain a profitable business with the quality of work that they're putting out there. And let me tell you, there are brands out there who can afford the higher price. And it kind of works the other way too. You might get told all the time, oh, you're too expensive. Well, firstly, you're probably not attracting the right people to your business if you keep hearing that. But other people might actually think that you're too cheap, and so they won't even inquire with you. So please just know that there are so many brands out there who can afford what you're charging. And I know how hard it can be when you're increasing your prices and you're like, nah, no one's going to be able to afford that because I already get told so many times I'm too expensive. The people who tell you you're too expensive, that's a reflection on them. That's not a reflection on you. So I hope that's been helpful. If you have any questions on what I've covered today, leave them in the comments below. If you do need tailored advice, please know I cannot give that to you unless you book a coaching call with me or you're a student inside my course. It's really hard to give you advice without knowing more about your business and more about the kind of equipment you're using, the quality of your work, just everything in general. Otherwise, guys, I will see you in the next video.